Team Abbott 2013 is a totally new beast. When I met and did this same story basically 3 years ago, Tony Abbott turned up on his own. I think I saw a minder once. His wife did not want to know anything about being involved in politics, let alone doing a story with Tony, and his children were not dissimilar. They agreed, and they were starting to understand that maybe they had to, but they did not want to. The difference is extraordinary. It's like Hollywood has come to town. Tony Abbott, it's Team Abbott. Team Abbott is on song. Everybody is ready. Everybody's geared up, and they're all headed for the lodge. And they know they are. It is extraordinarily different. There's an entourage. There's always somebody watching and waiting and, you know, making sure he doesn't make that one fatal mistake. Has Tony Abbott changed? Now that's what all of Australia is being asked to consider. Tony Abbott says of course he's changed, and the women in his life are saying absolutely Tony Abbott is a changed man. And the reason they're emphasising change is because the Tony Abbott we knew from way back when he was a university kid, 19, not such a kid, to when he was a self-confessed attack dog for John Howard in Parliament, was an aggressive person who said some very unpleasant things about his view on women's issues, abortion, any number of RU486. He was involved in a big debate over whether or not he should have the right as health minister to veto the use of that. The Tony Abbott from that time was not a terribly attractive person to the electorate, and in particular women. We're now being asked to decide and believe that he has changed, that he is this man that loves women, understands the needs of women, and will also not stand in the way of the needs of women. He knew that his sister was gay 3 years ago when I interviewed him, but when I asked him in the interview then how he felt about homosexuality, he said, a bit threatened. And we now know that he was right in the thick of this tumultuous time in their family, that they were coming to terms with his sister having walked away from a marriage and which produced 4 children, and living with a woman. Tony Abbott is Catholic, and all of his upbringing has been conservative with Catholic views, and that's informed a lot of his thinking and some would argue decision making. He said, and that's what we're frightened of as women, that he's going to tell me how I'm going to conduct my life and what control I'm allowed to have over my body. They're the things that I think he's having to hurdle. And that's where Julia Gillard punched him in the gizzards, frankly, over, you know, whether he was a misogynist or a sexist. And he has given them some ammunition. He has said some fairly unpleasant things in the past. Tony Abbott is really likeable. He's a really likeable guy. And you can see there's this softness in him, and you can see, I mean, he's Catholic, so he has been raised with some levels of compassion, but he's also got these conservative streaks. And I think the great issue is between he and his sister over gay marriage. His sister believes in gay marriage, he doesn't. And I put to them both, isn't it all about equality? If we view people equally, shouldn't gays be allowed to marry? She says yes, he says no. Can he lose this election? It's his to lose. If he loses, I don't know where he goes from there. The thing will be whether or not all those things we've heard and didn't like, all those things we didn't like hearing about Tony Abbott, whether they will come to the foreground when we're in our little booth about to tick a box. Do we believe he's changed? Do we believe he is this new man. Do we trust him? Good question. He should win, but he may not.